The Force binds all things across the galaxy, connecting every living being in an invisible web of energy. But what happens when something tears through the fabric of reality itself? When grief becomes so overwhelming that it rips open the boundaries between universes? The answer would arrive on Dathomir in a cascade of crimson light that no Jedi, no Sith, had ever witnessed before. The planet's blood-red skies churned with unprecedented fury as reality itself screamed. Lightning the color of fresh wounds spiderwebbed across the atmosphere, and for 3 heartbeats, 2 universes touched. Then she fell, a figure wreathed in scarlet energy, plummeting through Dathomir's turbulent air like a dying star. The impact crater she created in the Nightlands sent shockwaves through the Force that would be felt across a dozen systems. Wanda Maximoff lay unconscious in smoking earth, her red leather coat torn and her dark hair matted with blood that wasn't entirely her own. Around her, the ground had crystallized into patterns that defied nature, geometric impossibilities that hurt to perceive. The very air shimmered with residual energy that tasted of copper and desperation. She had been trying to find them, trying to tear through the walls of reality to reach her children, and instead, chaos magic had deposited her in a galaxy that had never known her kind of power. The Nightsisters felt her arrival immediately. In the fortress carved from Dathomir's ancient stone, Mother Talzin's eyes snapped open, glowing with sudden, terrible interest. Around her, clay vessels shattered, spell candles extinguished themselves. The spirits whispered in languages older than the Republic, speaking of a power that was not of the Force, not of their magic, but something that could remake worlds. "Sisters," Mother Talzin's voice carried through the stone halls like smoke. "We have a visitor, one who bleeds magic into our very soil." When Wanda's eyes opened, she saw a sky the wrong color and felt energy all around her that responded differently than it should. Her chaos magic flickered weakly, trying to understand this new universe's rules. She pushed herself upright, dirt cascading from her shoulders, and realized with growing horror that she couldn't sense the Darkhold's presence, couldn't feel the boundaries of the Hex, couldn't reach back to... "Where am I?" she whispered, and her voice cracked with exhaustion and fresh grief. The Nightsisters emerged from the mists like specters, pale-skinned women marked with glowing tattoos, wearing leather and bone, moving with predatory grace. They surrounded the crater in a loose circle, studying her with eyes that gleamed with curiosity and caution. Wanda's hands ignited with red energy on instinct, and she heard the Nightsisters hiss in appreciation rather than fear. Then, Mother Talzin descended, floating rather than walking, her form partially corporeal and partially smoke. The ancient witch's presence pressed against Wanda's senses like a dark tide. She was powerful in ways that reminded Wanda of Agatha Harkness, but older, stranger, more deeply connected to something Wanda couldn't quite define. "Welcome to Dathomir, child," Mother Talzin said, her voice layered with harmonics that suggested multiple speakers. "You carry power that does not belong to this galaxy. The spirits speak your arrival as prophecy and catastrophe both." She tilted her head, studying Wanda with unsettling intensity. "Tell me, are you here to destroy us or to join us?" Wanda's chaos magic pulsed, responding to the dark energy emanating from the Nightsisters. For the first time since arriving, she felt something almost like recognition. These women understood power, understood being feared, understood standing apart from the rest of their world. "I don't know where here is," Wanda said, lowering her hands but not extinguishing the energy. "I was trying to find my children. I tore through reality itself, and I ended up wherever this is." Mother Talzin's smile was sharp and knowing. "Then perhaps the spirits have brought you home, Scarlet Witch. For we are the Nightsisters, and we know what it means to be mothers who have lost everything." If you want to see more characters enter the Star Wars galaxy, hit that subscribe button and drop the name of a character you'd want to see in the comments below. May the Force be with you. The Nightsister fortress was carved from stone that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Wanda walked through corridors lined with clay vessels containing glowing green mist. "Spirits," Mother Talzin explained, "of Nightsisters long dead." The architecture felt wrong compared to anything Wanda had known, simultaneously ancient and alien, decorated with bones and preserved in ways that suggested this place existed outside normal time. Mother Talzin led her deeper, past chambers where Nightsisters practiced combat with curved blades and energy bows, their movements fluid and deadly. They paused their training to watch Wanda pass, whispering among themselves in a language that sounded like wind through dead trees. Wanda's chaos magic continued to flicker uncertainly, trying to find purchase in this universe's different rules. "Your power," Mother Talzin said without turning. "It struggles because it seeks rules that do not exist here. In this galaxy, there is the Force, an energy field that connects all living things. The Jedi wield the light. The Sith command the dark. We Nightsisters have learned to bend it through ancient magic that predates their orders by millennia." "I don't use the Force," Wanda said, examining her hands where red energy danced between her fingers. "My power is chaos magic. It's different. It rewrites reality itself." Mother Talzin stopped then, turning to face her fully. The ancient witch's eyes gleamed with something between hunger and respect. "Show me." They stood in a circular chamber whose walls were covered in glowing runes that reminded Wanda uncomfortably of the Darkhold's pages. Clay pots lined the perimeter, and in the center, a fire burned with green flames. Mother Talzin gestured to a stone pedestal where a skull rested, some creature Wanda didn't recognize, horned and massive. "Make it live," Mother Talzin commanded. Wanda approached slowly, letting her chaos magic build. In her own universe, this would be simple. Reality was malleable, responsive to her will and grief. Here, the energy felt thicker, more resistant. The Force pressed against her consciousness like an ocean current, trying to incorporate her power into its flow. She placed her hands above the skull and pulled. Red light erupted from her palms, wrapping around the bone in spiraling patterns. The skull trembled, the jawbone clicked. Then, impossibly, green mist began pouring from its empty eye sockets. Not Wanda's magic, but something the universe itself was providing in response to her manipulation. The skull rose, animated by a fusion of chaos magic and Nightsister magic, something that shouldn't exist. The Nightsisters watching from the shadows gasped. Mother Talzin laughed, a sound like shattering glass. "Extraordinary," the ancient witch breathed. "You do not command the Force. You command reality to obey you, and the Force submits. I have never seen its like." She circled Wanda slowly, examining her from every angle. "The Jedi will sense this. They will call you dark side, corrupt, dangerous. The Sith will hunt you for your power. But we Nightsisters, we understand what it means to be cast out for refusing their narrow definitions." Wanda let the skull drop, exhaustion pulling at her. "I didn't come here by choice. I just want to go home." "There is no home for women like us," Mother Talzin said, not unkindly. "Only places where we are feared less. But I offer you sanctuary, Scarlet Witch. Learn our ways. Adapt your power to this galaxy's rules, and perhaps in time, you will find what you truly seek. Not the past, but a future where you need not hide what you are." Before Wanda could respond, a tremor ran through the Force. She felt it this time, a ripple of alarm from somewhere beyond Dathomir. Mother Talzin's expression darkened. "They have felt you," she said quietly. "The Jedi. They sense a disturbance they cannot comprehend. It will not be long before they come to investigate." Her gaze sharpened. "You must choose quickly, child. Will you stand alone when they arrive? Or will you stand with sisters who know what it means to be hunted?" Wanda thought of the Avengers, who had feared her even as they claimed to accept her. Thought of the people of Westview, who would never forgive what she'd done. Thought of a lifetime of being called witch, monster, weapon, threat. "Teach me," she said. Mother Talzin smiled, and the green fires burned brighter. The training began at dawn, or what passed for dawn on Dathomir, when the red sun crept above the horizon and cast everything in shades of blood. Wanda stood in the fortress courtyard, wearing leather wrappings the Nightsisters had provided. her civilian clothes too damaged and inappropriate for what was to come. Around her, a circle of Night Sisters watched with expressions ranging from curiosity to skepticism. Mother Talzin had assigned her to learn from Karis, a severe woman whose skin bore intricate tattoos that glowed faintly green. Magic is not merely power, Karis explained, circling Wanda like a predator assessing prey. It is ritual, intention, connection to spirits and the living force itself. Your chaos magic is wild, undisciplined. Here, you will learn structure. Wanda bristled at the criticism but held her tongue. She had learned hard lessons about arrogance and control. Show me. The training was brutal. Night Sister magic required incantations in their ancient language, gestures precise enough to channel force energy through specific pathways, and most difficult, cooperation with spirits that existed outside normal reality. Wanda's chaos magic fought against the restrictions, wanting to simply reshape reality rather than negotiate with it. "No!" Karis snapped, when Wanda's first attempt at a basic protection ward collapsed into red sparks. "You command nothing here. You ask, you offer, you trade. The Force is not your servant. It is a partner in the dance." By midday, Wanda's hands were shaking with exhaustion, and her temper was fraying. She had rewritten reality itself, had nearly brought back the dead, and now she couldn't perform what these women considered basic spells. The other Night Sisters whispered among themselves, some clearly doubting whether Mother Talzin had made a mistake bringing this outsider into their fold. Then the gates opened, and everything changed. Asajj Ventress strode into the courtyard like vengeance given form. Wanda recognized a warrior immediately. The way she moved, the twin lightsabers hanging from her belt, the scars both visible and invisible. The woman's pale skin was marked with Night Sister tattoos, and her eyes held the cold assessment of someone who had killed often and well. "Mother Talzin," Ventress's voice carried across the courtyard. "I sensed a disturbance in the Force. I came to—" She stopped, her gaze locking onto Wanda. "Who is this?" "Our newest sister," Mother Talzin said, materializing beside Wanda like smoke. "Asajj Ventress, meet Wanda Maximoff. She comes from beyond this galaxy, bearing power that even I find remarkable." Ventress approached slowly, studying Wanda with the focus of a duelist analyzing an opponent. "I sense no Force sensitivity, yet the dark side clings to her like a second skin." Her hand drifted toward her lightsaber. "Explain." Wanda's chaos magic flared defensively, and Ventress's eyes widened slightly at the crimson energy that wrapped around Wanda's forearms. "I don't need your Force," Wanda said quietly. "My power comes from somewhere else." For a long moment, tension crackled between them. Then Ventress laughed, sharp and bitter. "Good. The Force has brought me nothing but betrayal and pain. Perhaps it's time I trained alongside someone who owes it no loyalty." She looked to Mother Talzin. "I'll work with her." The ancient witch nodded approval. "Wanda needs combat training. Your experience with both the dark side and our traditions makes you ideal. Teach her to survive what is coming." What came next was education through combat. Ventress was merciless, attacking with wooden training staffs, forcing Wanda to defend herself with chaos magic, while Ventress wove force attacks into every strike. Wanda blocked telekinetic shoves with reality-warping shields, countered force lightning with hex bolts, adapted and learned in the way only survivors could. "You're powerful," Ventress said after knocking Wanda down for the 5th time. "But power without control is just waiting to die. The Jedi will come for you. The Sith will want to use you. You need to be ready to tell them all to burn." Wanda picked herself up, blood on her lip and determination in her eyes. "I've been hunted before. I survived. Here, survival isn't enough." Ventress offered her a hand, the first genuine gesture of respect. "Here, you have to make them regret coming after you." As days turned to weeks, Wanda began to find her rhythm. She learned to blend chaos magic with Night Sister traditions, creating hybrid spells that made even Mother Talzin pause in consideration. She and Ventress developed an unlikely bond. Two women scarred by loss, both refusing to be defined by others' expectations. The other Nightsisters began to accept her presence, seeing how their magic and her chaos magic could amplify each other. But in orbit above Dathomir, Republic sensors had detected the force disturbance, and on Coruscant, the Jedi Council convened to discuss a darkness unlike any they had encountered before. The Jedi Temple's council chamber overlooked Coruscant's endless cityscape, but Mace Windu's attention was fixed inward, focused on the disturbance that had been gnawing at his meditation for weeks. Around the circular chamber, holographic projections flickered, Jedi Masters calling in from across the galaxy, their expressions uniformly troubled. "The darkness on Dathomir grows stronger," Windu said, his deep voice carrying the weight of concern. "Master Yoda, you have felt this presence. It does not match known dark side signatures." Yoda's hologram nodded slowly, his ancient eyes distant. "Unnatural, this presence is. Neither Sith nor Nightsister, yet both. Felt this before, I have not. Dangerous, it may prove." Ki-Adi-Mundi's hologram leaned forward. "The Nightsisters have always practiced their dark magics, but they have remained isolated on Dathomir. If they have acquired some new power, we must investigate before it spreads." "Agreed," Plo Koon said. "However, we must proceed carefully. The Nightsisters have proven formidable when threatened. An aggressive approach could escalate unnecessarily." Obi-Wan Kenobi's hologram appeared, his expression thoughtful. "I've encountered the Nightsisters before with Anakin and Ahsoka during the war. They're dangerous, but they follow certain rules. This new presence you describe sounds like something they wouldn't create. It's too chaotic, too foreign to their traditions." Windu exchanged glances with Yoda. "Your assessment?" "Send a small delegation," Obi-Wan suggested. 3 Jedi at most. Investigate, observe, and report. We're spread thin enough with the war. We can't afford a major operation against Dathomir unless absolutely necessary." The decision was made. A reconnaissance team would deploy within 48 hours. But, as the council dispersed, none of them truly understood what they would find, or that the woman at the center of the disturbance had already faced threats far worse than Jedi diplomacy. On Dathomir, Wanda stood atop the fortress walls, watching the blood-red sunset paint the nightlands in deeper crimson. Her chaos magic had finally begun to harmonize with this galaxy's energy. She could feel the Force now, not control it like the Jedi or Sith, but sense it, recognize how it flowed through reality. Her power had adapted, evolved, become something unique to this universe. Ventress joined her, leaning against the stone parapet with casual grace. "You feel them coming, don't you? The Jedi." "I feel something, like pressure building before a storm. That's the Force warning you." Ventress's expression was unreadable. "The Jedi will come with peace in their words and judgment in their hearts. They'll see your power, call it dark side corruption, and demand you submit to their testing. And when you refuse, because you will refuse, they'll try to neutralize you." Wanda's hands flickered with red energy. "I'm tired of people telling me what I am, what I should do, how I should use my power." "Good." Ventress smiled, sharp and cold. "Hold on to that anger, not because the dark side demands it, but because conviction is what keeps you alive when everyone else wants you dead or controlled." She paused. "The Jedi aren't evil, Wanda. They're just arrogant enough to believe their way is the only right way. And they have an entire republic behind them." "What about you?" Wanda asked. "You trained with them once, didn't you? I can see it in how you move, how you fight." Ventress's jaw tightened. "I was apprenticed to a Jedi Knight. He was murdered by pirates while trying to protect me. Then I fell to the Sith, became Dooku's assassin, his weapon. And when I was no longer useful, he tried to have me killed too." Her yellow eyes met Wanda's. "The Jedi abandoned me. The Sith betrayed me. The only ones who never lied about what they were the Nightsisters." Mother Talzin materialized between them, her smoky form solidifying. "The Jedi arrive in 3 days. They come with questions, but they bring weapons. We must prepare." her gaze settled on Wanda. "You have learned much, but now comes the true test. Will you hide your power and let them dictate your worth? Or will you stand as a Night Sister and show them that some forces answer to no one's authority?" Wanda thought of Westview, of the consequences of unchecked power and isolated grief. But she also thought of a lifetime spent apologizing for existing, for being feared, for having abilities others couldn't understand. She had crossed universes running from judgment. Here, finally, were women who didn't ask her to be less than she was. "I'll stand," Wanda said quietly. "But I won't attack first. If they come in peace, I'll meet them peacefully. If they come with demands..." Her chaos magic swirled around her hands, red and brilliant against the darkening sky. "Then they'll learn what happens when you corner a witch who has nothing left to lose." Ventress grinned. "I almost pity them." Mother Talzin's laugh echoed across the fortress. "Then let us prepare a proper welcome for our Jedi visitors. They wish to judge darkness? We shall show them power that transcends their binary understanding of light and dark. We shall show them the Scarlet Nightsister." The blood-red sun disappeared below the horizon, and on Dathomir, a new kind of darkness was born. One that would challenge everything the Jedi thought they knew about the Force itself. Count Dooku stood aboard his solar sailor in high orbit above Dathomir, his aristocratic features illuminated by the planet's crimson glow. The Sith Lord's connection to this world ran deep. He had come here years ago seeking an assassin and found Asajj Ventress. Now, the Force whispered of something far more valuable waiting on that blood-red surface. "Lord Tyrannus," General Grievous's mechanical voice crackled through the calm. "The Separatist Council questions the wisdom of this detour. The Republic gains ground on 3 fronts while you pursue rumors." "Rumors?" Dooku's voice carried aristocratic disdain. "I sense a disturbance in the Force, unlike anything in recorded history. Power that could shift the balance of this war decisively." He closed his eyes, reaching out through the Force toward Dathomir. "There, that crimson signature that tasted of chaos and grief. Prepare a shuttle, General. I will investigate personally." What Dooku didn't mention was how his master, Darth Sidious, had grown increasingly interested in this anomaly. The Emperor-in-Waiting wanted this power identified, categorized, and, if possible, controlled. Dooku intended to claim it first. The shuttle descended through Dathomir's turbulent atmosphere, escorted by droid starfighters. Dooku wore his signature cape and carried his curved lightsaber. Every inch the refined Sith Lord who had once been the Jedi Order's most celebrated master. He expected resistance. What he found was invitation. Mother Talzin waited at the fortress entrance, her spectral form hovering above the ground. Behind her, Night Sisters lined the walls with energy bows ready. And beside Talzin stood 2 figures that made Dooku pause. Asajj Ventress, his former apprentice and would-be executioner, and a woman wreathed in red energy that made his dark side senses scream warnings. "Dooku!" Ventress's voice dripped with venom. "Come to betray someone else?" "Asajj," Dooku replied smoothly, though his hand rested near his lightsaber. "I see you've returned to your roots. How provincial." His gaze shifted to Wanda. "And who is this? The source of the disturbance that has the entire galaxy's Force sensitives on edge?" Wanda studied the elegant man with cold assessment. She recognized danger immediately. The controlled power, the calculated charm, the darkness that wrapped around him like expensive cologne. "Someone you don't want to threaten." "Threaten?" Dooku smiled, all cultured civility. "My dear, I've come to offer opportunity. The Separatist Alliance fights against a corrupt republic that fears anyone with true power. We could use someone of your unique capabilities." "She's not interested in your war," Ventress snapped. "Perhaps she should hear the offer before you answer for her." Dooku took a step forward, and every Night Sister's weapon tracked him. He raised his hands peacefully. "The Republic will hunt you. The Jedi will attempt to redeem you or imprison you. The Sith, however, understand that power is neither good nor evil. It simply is. Join us, and you'll have resources, protection, and freedom to exercise your abilities without judgment." Wanda's chaos magic flickered. Part of her recognized the seduction in his words. How similar they sounded to things she'd told herself in Westview. Freedom from judgment. The right to use power without apology. But she'd learned where that path led. "I've met men like you before," Wanda said quietly. "Powerful, charming, convinced they're the hero of their own story. They always think they can control me, use me. They're always wrong." Dooku's smile sharpened. "I suspect you and I have more in common than you realize. We've both been cast out by those who feared what we represent. The difference is, I stopped apologizing for my strength." He extended his hand. "The Separatists would value you as an equal, not a tool. Think carefully, Miss Maximoff. Wanda Maximoff." She didn't take his hand. "And I've learned that anyone offering freedom usually means chains that look prettier." The temperature dropped. Dooku's pleasant facade cracked slightly, revealing the predator beneath. "Mother Talzin, surely you see the strategic value in alliance? The Republic mobilizes against Dathomir as we speak. 3 Jedi are en route. You could use friends with Star Destroyers. We need no friends who offer nooses disguised as necklaces," Mother Talzin said, her voice layered with dark harmonics. "The Nightsisters have survived Jedi and Sith both. We will survive this as well." Dooku's hand moved to his lightsaber. "A pity. I had hoped for a more civilized arrangement." His blade ignited, the curved crimson beam humming with threat. "Perhaps a demonstration of your power, Miss Maximoff, would help me assess your true value, whether as ally or obstacle to be removed." Wanda's hands erupted with chaos magic. Ventress's twin lightsabers blazed to life. Nightsisters drew their bows, green energy crackling. The courtyard became a powder keg waiting for a spark. "You're outnumbered, Dooku," Ventress said. "Am I?" The Sith Lord smiled. "Or are you simply unaware of the battalion of droids surrounding this fortress, awaiting my signal?" Mother Talzin laughed, cold and knowing. "You came prepared for war while speaking of peace. How very Sith of you." She raised her hands, and the fortress's runes began to glow. "Leave now, Dooku, or learn why even your master fears the Nightsisters' magic." For a heartbeat, violence hung balanced on a knife's edge. Then Dooku deactivated his lightsaber with aristocratic grace. "I see negotiation is premature. But consider this, Miss Maximoff. When the Jedi arrive and demand you submit to their judgment, remember who offered you freedom." He turned, cape swirling. "We will speak again." The galaxy has a way of forcing difficult choices. As his shuttle lifted off, Wanda felt her hands shaking. "He'll come back." "Of course," Ventress said grimly. "And next time, he'll bring an army." The Jedi shuttle descended through Dathomir's atmosphere 3 days later, its Republic markings gleaming against the blood-red sky. Inside, Mace Windu sat in meditation, flanked by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luminara Unduli. The 3 Jedi had prepared for confrontation, but hoped for dialogue, a balance the Order had perfected over millennia. "The dark side presence grows stronger," Luminara observed, her serene features troubled. "It's almost overwhelming now that we're in system." "But unfocused," Obi-Wan added, stroking his beard thoughtfully. "Not like the calculating darkness of the Sith. This feels emotional, raw, like a wound in the Force itself." Windu's expression remained stern. "Whatever its nature, we must determine if it poses a threat to the Republic. The Nightsisters have remained neutral in the Clone Wars. But if they've acquired some new weapon or dark technique, we need to know." The shuttle touched down a respectful distance from the Nightsister fortress. As the 3 Jedi disembarked, robed and carrying their lightsabers, but not igniting them, they found a delegation waiting. Mother Talzin hovered at the center, flanked by Nightsisters whose tattoos glowed ominously. Asajj Ventress stood to one side, arms crossed and expression hostile. And in front of them all stood Wanda Maximoff, wearing black leather wrappings marked with red accents, her dark hair braided in Nightsister fashion. Chaos magic danced subtly around her fingertips, red energy that made the Jedi instinctively reach for their weapons. "Master Windu," Mother Talzin's voice carried across the distance. The Jedi Council sends its champions to judge us once again. How predictable. We come seeking understanding, not judgment, Obi-Wan said diplomatically, stepping forward with hands visible and empty. The Force has been disturbed. We felt a presence unlike anything known to the Order. We simply wish to speak with whoever or whatever is responsible. And if we refuse? Ventress's hand drifted toward her lightsaber. Then we will leave and report what we've observed, Luminara said calmly. We're not here to wage war, Asajj Ventress, though your presence here raises questions, given your service to Count Dooku. I serve no one but myself and my sisters, Ventress snapped. Wanda stepped forward, drawing all three Jedi's attention. Up close, they could sense it clearly. She carried darkness, yes, but not the corruption of the Sith. Instead, the Force around her bent and warped, as if reality itself struggled to contain her essence. I'm what you're looking for, Wanda said quietly. The disturbance, the presence you can't identify. My name is Wanda Maximoff, and I'm not from this galaxy. The Jedi exchanged glances. Windu spoke carefully. Not from this galaxy? Explain. I tore through reality itself trying to find something I'd lost. I ended up here, in your universe. My power, chaos magic, it doesn't follow your Force's rules. It rewrites reality at a fundamental level. Wanda's hands glowed brighter. I've been training with the Nightsisters to understand how my abilities interact with this galaxy's energy field. Obi-Wan's diplomatic instincts warred with his alarm. Miss Maximoff, the power you describe sounds extraordinarily dangerous. Reality manipulation has been theorized but never successfully achieved, even by the most powerful Force users. If you truly possess such abilities, you want to study me, Wanda interrupted, her voice hardening. Lock me up somewhere safe where I can't hurt anyone. I've heard this speech before. We want to help you, Luminara said gently. The darkness we sense around you, it's consuming, corrosive. Come to the temple. Let us teach you balance, show you how to wield power without falling to corruption. Wanda laughed bitterly. Balance. The Jedi are so sure they have all the answers. Light side good, dark side bad. Everyone else just needs to be saved or destroyed. She shook her head. I've met people like you, convinced their way is the only moral path. They tried to tell me who I should be, how I should grieve, what I was allowed to feel. I'm done with that. Windu's expression grew stern. The dark side is not a matter of perspective. It leads to suffering, corruption, the destruction of everything one loves. We've seen it consume thousands over millennia. And I've seen good people do terrible things in the name of protecting others, Wanda countered. The Nightsisters don't pretend to be heroes. They don't demand I be anything other than what I am. That's more honesty than I ever got from the supposed good guys. Wanda, Obi-Wan tried again, his voice reasonable and kind. You've suffered loss. We can sense your grief like a beacon. But letting that pain drive you into darkness won't bring back what you've lost. It will only create more suffering. Please, let us help you find peace. The words hit harder than Wanda expected. For a moment she wavered. These Jedi seemed genuinely concerned, not immediately hostile. Maybe they could understand. Maybe. Then she felt it. Windu's hand had moved subtly, ready to ignite his lightsaber if she proved hostile. Luminara's stance had shifted into a defensive posture. Even Obi-Wan, for all his diplomatic warmth, watched her with the alertness of someone prepared to fight. They feared her, just like everyone else. I don't need your help, Wanda said, and chaos magic exploded around her in a crimson corona. And I'm not going anywhere with you. Ventress's lightsabers ignited. The Nightsisters raised their weapons. The Jedi activated their own blades, purple, blue, and green light casting harsh shadows. This doesn't have to end in violence, Windu said, but his lightsaber was raised. Then leave, Mother Talzin commanded. The Scarlet Witch has made her choice. She stands with the Nightsisters. If the Jedi Council has a problem with that, they may bring it before us formally. After the war, their losing claims their attention once more. The standoff held for 5 heartbeats. Then Obi-Wan deactivated his lightsaber. "We will report what we found. The council will deliberate." His gaze met Wanda's, and she saw genuine sadness there. "I hope you find what you're looking for, Miss Maximoff. But the path you're on, it never ends where you expect." The Jedi withdrew to their shuttle. As it lifted off, Wanda felt Ventress's hand on her shoulder. "You did well," the assassin said, "but you know they'll be back." Wanda watched the shuttle disappear into the red sky. "Let them come. I'm tired of running." The ritual chamber deep within the Nightsister fortress pulsed with dark energy. Ancient runes covered every surface, glowing with sickly green light that cast everything in an otherworldly hue. Clay vessels lined the walls, each containing spirits that whispered in languages predating the Republic. At the chamber's center, Wanda knelt naked to the waist, her skin marked with preparation oils that smelled of copper and ash. Mother Talzin moved around her in a slow circle, chanting in the Nightsister tongue, words that made reality shiver. "You have trained in our ways. You have stood against Jedi and refused submission. Now, you will become truly one of us. Not simply a visitor sheltered by our walls, but a Nightsister bound by blood and magic." Asajj Ventress stood witness alongside a dozen other Nightsisters, their expressions solemn. This ritual was rarely performed, the marking of a new sister, the binding of foreign power to Dathomiri traditions. Ventress had undergone it years ago when she'd first come to these clans. She remembered the pain, the transformation, the sense of finally belonging somewhere. "This will hurt," Ventress warned quietly. "The magic will burn through you, trying to merge with your chaos magic. You'll feel like you're being torn apart." "I've been torn apart before," Wanda said, her voice steady despite the fear curling in her stomach. "I survived." Mother Talzin raised her hands, and spectral energy poured from the clay vessels. Spirits of Nightsisters long dead, their power preserved through ancient arts. The green mist swirled around Wanda, cold and invasive, pressing against her consciousness. She felt them testing her, these dead witches, determining if she was worthy of joining their eternal sisterhood. Then the pain began. Chaos magic erupted defensively as the Nightsister magic tried to merge with it. The two powers were fundamentally incompatible. One rooted in universal chaos, the other in the living force. They crashed together inside Wanda like colliding galaxies, red and green energy warring for dominance. Wanda screamed, her back arching, reality itself warping around her. The chamber's stone walls rippled like water. The runes blazed so bright they hurt to perceive. And across Wanda's skin, tattoos began to form. Not the traditional Nightsister marks, but something new. Crimson patterns intertwined with green. Chaos and magic finding an impossible synthesis. "Do not fight it," Mother Talzin commanded, her voice cutting through Wanda's agony. "Let the powers merge. You are not betraying one for the other. You are becoming something unprecedented." Wanda remembered Westview, remembered the Darkhold's corruption, remembered every time she'd lost control and hurt people she loved. All her life, she'd feared her power consuming her. Now she was deliberately inviting it to transform her completely. But this time, she wasn't alone. The spirits of the Nightsisters surrounded her consciousness, ancient and powerful and understanding. They had walked similar paths, women who'd been cast out, feared, hunted for their power. They didn't demand she be less. They demanded she be more. Wanda stopped fighting. Let the chaos magic and Nightsister magic collide and merge and create something that had never existed before. The pain peaked, became transcendent, then slowly faded into a warmth that felt almost like homecoming. When she opened her eyes, the world looked different. She could see the Force now, truly see it, as currents of living energy flowing through everything. But she could also perceive the underlying code of reality itself, the quantum structures that her chaos magic could rewrite. The two visions overlaid, and suddenly she understood how to merge them. Mother Talzin smiled with genuine satisfaction. "Rise, Scarlet Nightsister. You carry our magic now, bound forever to our clan. But you have not lost what makes you unique. You are both and neither, witch of two worlds, power that transcends galaxy boundaries." Wanda stood on shaking legs. The tattoos covering her arms and torso glowed, red and green intertwined in patterns that hurt to perceive for too long. She raised her hand, and chaos magic flowed with perfect control, enhanced by Night Sister discipline. With a thought, she summoned spirits from the vessels, bending them to her will through magic. Then she warped reality around those spirits, creating constructs that were simultaneously phantoms and solid matter. The Night Sisters watching gasped in awe and fear. Ventress's eyes widened. Even Mother Talzin looked impressed. "Extraordinary," the ancient witch breathed. "You have done what I thought impossible. Merged two fundamentally incompatible power sources into unified expression. You are no longer simply powerful, child. You are unique in all the galaxy." Wanda felt different, not corrupted or controlled, but complete in ways she'd never experienced. The Night Sisters' acceptance, their refusal to demand she be anything but fully herself, had allowed her power to evolve beyond its previous limitations. She was stronger now than she'd ever been, even with the Darkhold. "What happens now?" Wanda asked. "Now," Mother Talzin said, her expression darkening. "We prepare for war. The Jedi will return, convinced you're a threat that must be contained. Dooku will come with his droid armies, seeking to claim you for the Separatists, and my sources suggest that even Darth Sidious himself has taken notice of your presence." "Let them come," Wanda said, and her voice carried harmonics that made the spirits whisper in approval. "I'm done being afraid of what I am. I'm done apologizing for my power. If they want war." Her hands ignited with red and green energy intertwined, beautiful and terrible. "I'll show them what a Scarlet Night Sister can do." Ventress stepped forward, placing a hand on Wanda's shoulder. "Then we fight together, sister." For the first time since arriving in this strange galaxy, Wanda felt something she'd thought she'd lost forever. She felt like she belonged. The fortress trembled. Somewhere in orbit, Republic sensors detected the ritual's energy surge. On Coruscant, the Jedi Council convened an emergency session. And in the shadows, Darth Sidious smiled, sensing an opportunity to remove a wild variable from his carefully orchestrated plan. The Clone Wars were about to gain a combatant unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. The Republic task force arrived in overwhelming numbers. 3 Venator-class Star Destroyers, a dozen gunships, and 200 clone troopers led by Jedi Generals Mace Windu, Luminara Unduli, and Kit Fisto. The Jedi Council had deliberated for 3 days before deciding that the Scarlet Witch represented too great an unknown threat. She would be brought to Coruscant for study and training, by force, if necessary. Wanda stood atop the Night Sister fortress, feeling the approaching vessels through the Force-Chaos magic hybrid that now flowed through her. Beside her, Asajj Ventress checked her lightsabers with practiced efficiency. Around the fortress, Night Sisters prepared for battle. Energy bows charged, spirits summoned, ancient defensive magics activated. "They bring an army to capture one person," Ventress said with dark amusement. "I'm almost flattered on your behalf." "They're afraid," Wanda said quietly, watching the Star Destroyers descend through Dathomir's atmosphere. "I understand that. I've been afraid of myself." Her hands ignited with red-green energy. "But I won't let fear control me anymore. Or them." Mother Talzin materialized between them, her spectral form more solid than usual, channeling power for the coming battle. The Jedi believe their numbers give them advantage. They forget that Night Sisters have defended this world against Republic and Sith for millennia. They forget that we do not fight alone. The old witch raised her hands, and across Dathomir, the spirits responded. Green mist rose from ancient burial grounds. Dead Night Sisters manifested, spectral warriors ready to defend their living sisters. The planet itself seemed to pulse with dark energy, responding to Mother Talzin's call. Gunships descended first, clone troopers rappelling down on cables. They moved with military precision, establishing a perimeter around the fortress. Then the 3 Jedi landed, Windu, Luminara, and Kit Fisto, their lightsabers ignited and expressions determined but not cruel. They genuinely believed they were doing the right thing. "Wanda Maximoff," Windu's voice carried through the courtyard, amplified by the Force. The Jedi Council has deemed your power too dangerous to remain untrained and unsupervised. Surrender peacefully. Come to Coruscant for instruction, and no harm will come to anyone here. And if I refuse, Wanda called back. Then we will take you by force, Luminara said, regret evident in her tone. We do not wish bloodshed, but we cannot allow reality-warping power to exist without guidance. Wanda stepped forward to the fortress edge, and every weapon in the Republic force tracked her. She felt their fear, their determination, their absolute certainty that they were heroes preventing future tragedy. Maybe they were right. Maybe she was dangerous. Maybe she would lose control again and hurt people. But maybe she wouldn't. Maybe she deserved the chance to decide her own fate. I've been judged my whole life, Wanda said, her voice steady. Called witch, monster, weapon, threat. People who claimed to care about me tried to lock me away for my own good, for everyone's safety. And every time I broke free, I proved I couldn't be trusted. She paused. But the Nightsisters never asked me to be less than I am. They gave me family, training, acceptance. I won't betray that. This is your final chance, Windu warned, raising his purple lightsaber. Wanda's response was to release her power fully for the first time since the ritual. Chaos magic and Night Sister magic exploded around her in a corona of red and green energy, so intense it lit Dathomir's red sky like a second sun. Reality warped. The courtyard's stone rippled, gravity fluctuated, and the Force itself bent around her like light around a black hole. The clone troopers opened fire. Wanda raised her hand, and the blaster bolts froze mid-air, hundreds of them, suspended in crimson energy fields. With a gesture, she sent them ricocheting harmlessly into the ground. "Take her!" Windu commanded, and the Jedi charged. Ventress met them with her twin lightsabers, her yellow blades clashing against Windu's purple in a shower of sparks. Luminara engaged the Night Sister warriors pouring from the fortress gates. Kit Fisto found himself surrounded by spectral ancestors who could partially deflect his lightsaber with pure magic. And Wanda rewrote the battlefield. Clone troopers found their weapons transforming into harmless flowers. Gunships' engines failed as reality around them simply rejected the concept of flight. The courtyard itself became a maze as Wanda reshaped stone into impossible geometries. She didn't kill, refused to cross that line, but she made it brutally clear that this battle had only one possible outcome. Windu, recognizing the futility, disengaged from Ventress with a force push that sent her sliding back. "Fall back! Regroup at the landing zone!" But Mother Talzin wasn't finished. The ancient witch channeled power through Dathomir's spirit-saturated soil, and the dead rose in earnest. Spectral Night Sisters by the hundreds manifested, pursuing the retreating Republic forces with supernatural fury. Wanda caught Windu before he could reach his gunship, wrapping him in chaos magic bindings that held him suspended. She flew, something she'd never done before the ritual, gravity simply ceasing to affect her, and came face to face with the Jedi Master. "I don't want to hurt anyone," Wanda said, and Windu could hear the sincerity beneath the power. "But I won't be imprisoned for existing. Go back to your council. Tell them the Scarlet Night Sister isn't their enemy. But neither am I their weapon or their student. I choose my own path." "The path you're on leads to darkness," Windu said, still struggling against her bindings. "Maybe," Wanda allowed. "Or maybe your Jedi Order is so afraid of the dark side that you can't imagine power existing outside your binary. Light side, dark side. I'm neither and both, and that terrifies you more than any Sith." She released him, and Windu fell to his gunship's deck. The Republic forces retreated in disarray, their overwhelming numbers proven useless against power that could simply reject the rules of engagement. As the Star Destroyers withdrew into orbit, Ventress joined Wanda atop the fortress walls. That was remarkably restrained. "You could have killed them all." "Killing them would prove they were right to fear me," Wanda said tiredly. "I just needed them to understand I won't be controlled." But on Coruscant, the Jedi Council's meeting was grim, and in his hidden sanctum, Darth Sidious reached out through the Force to his apprentice. Dooku, the Emperor's voice hissed. The Jedi have failed. It falls to you. Bring me the Scarlet Witch, or eliminate her. She threatens to disrupt plans set in motion decades ago. The real battle was about to begin. The Separatist fleet arrived at dawn, or what passed for dawn on Dathomir, when the blood-red sun cast the world in shades of crimson and shadow. Dooku had come with overwhelming force, 4 Providence-class dreadnoughts, dozens of Munificent-class frigates, and thousands of battle droids. General Grievous commanded the ground assault personally, his mechanical form visible even from the fortress walls as he led columns of droids across the Nightlands. This is different from the Republic's attempt, Ventress observed grimly, watching through electro-binoculars. Dooku isn't here to capture you. He's here to eliminate you or die trying. Wanda felt the dark presence approaching. Dooku himself, flanked by commando droids, his curved lightsaber already ignited. But there was something else. Something deeper and more terrible lurking behind the Separatist fleet. A presence that made even her hybrid power recoil. Sidious, Mother Talzin hissed, her spectral form flickering with rage. The Sith Lord finally shows his hand. He hides aboard that dreadnought, watching, waiting to claim whatever remains when this battle ends. The ancient witch's hatred was palpable. Wanda had learned pieces of the story. How Sidious had stolen Mother Talzin's son Maul and corrupted him into a Sith apprentice. How the Emperor-in-waiting had manipulated Nightsister politics for decades. This wasn't just about Wanda anymore. This was old vengeance finally coming due. We can't fight them all, Wanda said, assessing the impossible odds. Thousands of droids, Grievous's tactical genius, Dooku's Sith mastery, and Sidious lurking in the shadows. We need to evacuate. We are Nightsisters, Mother Talzin interrupted coldly. We do not flee. This is our world, sanctified by 10,000 years of blood and magic. If they wish to take it, they will pay a price that echoes through the Force for generations. The first wave of battle droids crashed against the fortress like a mechanical tide. Nightsisters fired energy bows from the walls, each shot dropping multiple droids. Ventress led a sortie that tore through battle droid formations with devastating efficiency. And Wanda unleashed hell. She warped reality on a scale she'd never attempted before. Battle droids found their programming rewritten mid-combat, turning on each other. Tanks simply ceased to exist as Wanda erased them from local reality. The ground itself became a weapon, stone rising in impossible formations to crush, impale, and destroy the endless droid columns. But Grievous was relentless. The cyborg general adapted to each reality warp, using his 4 lightsabers to carve through Nightsister defenses while his tactical programming found gaps in Wanda's attention. He was a machine designed for Jedi killing, and while Wanda wasn't a Jedi, the principle applied, overwhelming her through sheer persistence. Then Dooku entered the fortress courtyard, and everything changed. The Sith Lord moved with elegant precision, his curved blade deflecting spirit attacks, while his Force lightning reduced Nightsister warriors to screaming husks. He was powerful in ways the Jedi hadn't been. The dark side channeled without restraint, without mercy, without the hesitation that had stayed Windu's hand. "Miss Maximoff," Dooku called out, his aristocratic voice carrying over the chaos. "My master offers you a final choice. Kneel before the Sith and live as our weapon, or die here with these primitive witches. There is no third option." Wanda met him in the center of the courtyard, chaos magic blazing. They collided in an explosion of red energy and dark side lightning that sent shockwaves across the battlefield. Dooku was a master duelist, his Form 2 technique perfected over decades. But Wanda didn't fight like a Jedi. She warped space around his strikes, made gravity reverse beneath his feet, turned his own Force lightning back on him through reality manipulation. "I've faced gods," Wanda snarled, her power building to critical levels. "You're just an old man with a laser sword." Their battle tore through the fortress, stone walls exploding, ancient chambers collapsing. Dooku was stronger than she'd expected, his connection to the dark side feeding him power from decades of cultivation. But Wanda's chaos magic was infinite, limited only by her will and imagination, and she had stopped limiting herself. She caught Dooku's wrist mid-strike, chaos magic burning through his defenses. "You want to know what I am? What I'm capable of?" Her eyes glowed crimson. "Let me show you." Reality broke. For 10 seconds, Dooku experienced every possible timeline simultaneously. Versions where he won, where he died, where he'd never fallen to the dark side, where he'd become Emperor himself. An infinite array of possibilities crushing his consciousness. He screamed, and the sound was almost human. Wanda released him, and Dooku collapsed, his mind fracturing under the weight of infinite realities. She had won, but at a cost. Using that much power, warping reality so completely, had pushed her to her absolute limit. She stumbled, blood trickling from her nose. That's when Sidious made his move. The Emperor materialized from shadows and dark side energy, his yellow eyes gleaming with malevolent intelligence. "Impressive, young witch. You've eliminated my troublesome apprentice and demonstrated power beyond anything this galaxy has seen." He raised his hands, and force lightning erupted. Not the crude attacks Dooku had used, but pure dark side energy that could obliterate matter itself. Wanda threw up shields, but Sidious's power was overwhelming. He was the culmination of millennia of Sith mastery. The hidden puppet master who had orchestrated the Clone Wars and the Republic's destruction. Against him, even her reality warping struggled. "You could have been magnificent," Sidious hissed, advancing slowly. "But you chose sentiment over power, attachment over ambition. You are strong, yes, but strength without the will to rule is merely wasted potential." Mother Talzin struck from behind, her spectral hands plunging into Sidious's back. The ancient witch channeled every spirit on Dathomir, every ounce of Nightsister magic accumulated over 10 millennia. "You stole my son!" she screamed. "You corrupted him, used him, discarded him! I have waited decades for this moment, Sidious." The Emperor turned, and his expression was pure contempt. "You are already dead, witch. You simply refuse to accept it." His lightning intensified, burning away Mother Talzin's spectral form bit by agonizing bit. Wanda saw her chance. While Sidious was distracted, she gathered every scrap of remaining power. Chaos magic, Nightsister magic, her grief, her rage, her desperate need to protect this family she'd found. She poured it all into one desperate attack. "Get away from her!" Wanda screamed, and reality itself obeyed. The courtyard exploded. A wave of pure chaos energy radiated outward, rewriting fundamental universal constants within a 100-meter radius. Droids simply ceased to exist. Grievous's mechanical body fused into immobility, and Sidious, the mighty Emperor, was thrown backwards, his connection to the Force disrupted by power that existed outside its framework. For 3 seconds, the Emperor of the galaxy was vulnerable. Mother Talzin used those seconds. She wrapped her dying form around Sidious like a cage, channeling every spirit on Dathomir into one final attack. "You will not have her," the ancient witch whispered. "You will not have this world. We are Nightsisters, and we do not surrender." The explosion was visible from orbit. When the light faded, both Sidious and Mother Talzin were gone, either destroyed or banished through dimensional rifts torn by competing reality-warping powers. The separatist forces, suddenly leaderless and facing unprecedented losses, began a chaotic retreat. Wanda collapsed, utterly spent. Ventress caught her before she hit the ground. "Is it over?" Wanda whispered. "For now," Ventress said, though her expression was grim. "Mother Talzin is gone. Dooku is broken. But Sidious, he's survived worse. He'll return." Wanda looked at the devastation around her. The shattered fortress, the dead Nightsisters, the price of her power. "I didn't want this." "None of us do," Ventress said quietly. "But we don't get to choose our wars, only how we fight them." 3 months after the Battle of Dathomir, the galaxy had changed in subtle but profound ways. The Jedi Council officially declared the Nightsisters a neutral faction to be monitored but not engaged. The Separatists never returned to Dathomir. Whatever Sidious's plans had been, he'd abandoned them after his confrontation with Wanda. And Count Dooku remained catatonic in a Republic medical facility, his mind still fractured by the infinite timelines Wanda had forced into his consciousness. Wanda stood in the reconstructed fortress courtyard, watching Nightsister younglings practice basic magic under Ventress's stern instruction. The battle had cost them dearly. 40 sisters dead, the fortress partially destroyed, and Mother Talzin's sacrifice leaving a power vacuum that still hadn't fully resolved. But they had survived. And survival, Wanda had learned, was its own kind of victory. "The Council wants to speak with you," Ventress said, approaching with her usual directness. She meant the new Nightsister Council, 7 senior witches who'd assumed leadership after Mother Talzin's death. "They're still debating whether you're a blessing or a curse." "What do you think?" Wanda asked. Ventress considered. "I think you're the most powerful being I've ever encountered. I think you're dangerous, unstable, and capable of remaking reality on a whim." She paused. "I also think you're the only person who could have saved us from Sidious. So maybe you're both." The scars on Wanda's arms, where Nightsister tattoos intertwined with chaos magic burns, ached in the morning cold. She'd pushed herself beyond every limit during that final battle, and her body still bore the consequences. But she was alive. The Nightsisters were alive. And for now, that was enough. "I've been thinking about leaving," Wanda admitted quietly. "This galaxy isn't mine. I don't belong in your wars, your conflicts between Jedi and Sith. Maybe I should find a way home." "Can you?" Ventress asked. "The way you arrived, that dimensional rift, can you recreate it?" Wanda had been studying that question for weeks. Her chaos magic, now merged with Nightsister magic and adapted to this universe's rules, had evolved beyond anything she'd been capable of before. Theoretically, yes, she could tear through reality again. Find her way back to the MCU, back to a world where she understood the rules. But what waited for her there? She was wanted for what happened in Westview. The Avengers either feared her or pitied her. Her children, the whole reason she'd torn through reality in the first place, might not even be real, might never have been real. Here, at least, she had sisters, people who'd fought beside her, bled with her, accepted her without demanding she be anything other than what she was. "I could," Wanda said finally. "But I won't. Not yet. The Nightsisters need rebuilding. And maybe..." She hesitated. "Maybe I need to prove I can use this power without losing myself. That I can be part of something without destroying it." Ventress nodded slowly. "Mother Talzin's last words were about you. She said you were the future. That Nightsister magic had grown stagnant, isolated, trapped in ancient traditions. Your chaos magic, merged with our ways, could evolve into something that ensures our survival for another 10,000 years. That's a lot of pressure. You've handled worse." Ventress's lips quirked in something almost like a smile. "Besides, someone needs to teach these younglings that power and responsibility aren't oppositions, that you can be strong without being cruel. You're probably the only one here who actually believes that." Over the following weeks, Wanda found her purpose. She trained young Nightsisters in hybrid techniques, chaos magic principles, applied through Nightsister frameworks. She helped rebuild the fortress, using reality manipulation to repair damage that would have taken years through conventional means. And slowly, carefully, she learned to wield her power with precision rather than overwhelming force. The Jedi continued to monitor Dathomir, but they didn't return. Wanda suspected Obi-Wan had advocated for caution, arguing that the Scarlet Nightsister had proven she could defend herself, but showed no interest in galactic conquest. They would watch, wait, and hope she remained neutral. She could live with that. Anakin Skywalker arrived unexpectedly one evening, his starfighter landing outside the fortress without fanfare. Wanda met him in the courtyard, curious about why this legendary Jedi Knight would risk coming alone. "Master Windu doesn't know I'm here," Anakin said immediately. "This isn't official Jedi business." "Then what is it?" Anakin looked uncomfortable, like someone wrestling with questions he wasn't supposed to ask. "When we fought, when you repelled our attack, I felt something in the Force. Your power, it's not like anything I've ever encountered. Not Jedi, not Sith, something completely outside the binary we're taught." He paused, I wanted to know how you can wield that much power without being consumed by it. Wanda understood then. This young man, so powerful and so conflicted, was asking the question that would define his future. Could power exist without corruption? Could strength coexist with compassion? I don't have all the answers, Wanda said honestly. I've lost control before, hurt people I loved, crossed lines I can never uncross. She showed him her scarred arms. But I've also learned that power itself isn't good or evil. It's just power. What matters is who you are when you wield it, what you're willing to sacrifice to keep it in check. The Jedi say attachment leads to the dark side, Anakin said quietly. That caring too much makes you vulnerable to corruption. The Jedi are wrong, Wanda said flatly. My attachments, my love for my children, my grief over losing them. That's what gave me strength when I needed it most. Not power for power's sake, but power to protect what I loved. She met his eyes. Love doesn't make you weak, Anakin, but fear of losing what you love, that can destroy you. I know. I've been there. They talked for hours, and when Anakin left, Wanda thought she might have planted a seed that could change the galaxy's future. Or maybe not. Some destinies were too strong to alter. But at least she'd tried. As Dathomir's twin moons rose over the fortress, Wanda stood atop the walls with Ventress, watching the stars. Do you think Sidious survived? Wanda asked. Probably, Ventress said grimly. Men like him always do. But you hurt him, Wanda. Showed him that even the mightiest Sith Lord can be challenged by power he doesn't understand. That's worth something. And when he comes back? Ventress's smile was sharp and cold. Then we'll be ready, because you're not the frightened witch who fell through a dimensional rift anymore. You're the Scarlet Nightsister, and this galaxy will learn what that means. Wanda's hands flickered with red and green energy, chaos and magic in perfect harmony. She had lost everything in one universe and found herself in another, had been hunted, judged, and forced to fight for her right to exist. But she had survived, had found family, had proven that power and acceptance weren't mutually exclusive. The Clone Wars would continue. The Sith would scheme. The Jedi would judge. And through it all, on a blood-red world at the galaxy's edge, the Nightsisters would endure, now guided by a witch who could rewrite reality itself. Wanda Maximoff had finally found her place. Not as a hero or a villain, not as a weapon or a victim, but as something the Star Wars galaxy had never seen before. A woman who refused to choose between power and compassion, who stood with sisters who accepted all of what she was. The Scarlet Witch had joined the Nightsisters, and the galaxy would never be the same. The legend of the Scarlet Nightsister would spread across the galaxy in the years that followed, whispered in cantinas, documented in Jedi archives, analyzed by Sith historians. Some claimed she was a weapon created by ancient Nightsister magic. Others believed her a Force aberration, a glitch in the cosmic order. A few suspected the truth, that she was something from beyond, a visitor from another universe who'd chosen to make the Star Wars galaxy her home. Wanda never sought fame or recognition. She remained on Dathomir, training new generations of Nightsisters in hybrid techniques that would ensure their survival long after she was gone. She fought when necessary, defending her adopted homeworld from pirates, separatist remnants, and the occasional ambitious Sith acolyte. But mostly, she rebuilt the fortress, rebuilt the Nightsister traditions, rebuilt herself into someone who could wield infinite power without losing her humanity. When Order 66 came and the Jedi were massacred, Dathomir remained neutral. When the Empire rose and declared Force sensitives illegal, the Nightsisters endured behind their mists and magic. And when desperate Force users fled persecution, seeking sanctuary, it was the Scarlet Nightsister who welcomed them, teaching them that power existed beyond the Jedi-Sith binary. Perhaps, in another timeline, Wanda Maximoff destroyed herself with grief and unchecked power. Perhaps she became the villain of her own story, consumed by the very abilities she could never fully control. But in this galaxy far, far away, she found something she'd always needed. sisters who never asked her to be anything less than everything she was. The Force would remember her presence as an anomaly, a disruption in its careful balance. But the Nightsisters would remember her as the witch who'd proven that strength and compassion weren't opposing forces. That power could coexist with love. That even in the darkest times, family could be found among the outcasts and the feared. Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, had crossed universes and found her home. May the Force be with you. More stories await.